Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're watching this video because you're already subscribed, welcome back. I'm super excited to kind of bring you guys a video today updating you. You guys can already tell by the title of the video. I'm going to be talking about, it's not going to be too long, but I'm going to be talking about how I closed a Facebook deal that ended up costing me $0, but I'll kind of explain why it's also not $0. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's also easy. I'm going to talk about it later in this video, and I'll work up to it. And so you're here because you want to figure out how I closed a deal, and it was a $5,000 deal. That's not all profit, and I'll explain why. It's pretty close to all profit, but my check here, I'm going to put it up on the screen right now, was for $5,100, and the $100 was my earnest money, so I get that money back when the deal closes. So for all of you that are learning about the industry and how much money you should put down, for me in the state of Arizona, I just put down $100. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through how the transaction went from beginning to end. Not a super lengthy process, but it took about 30 days. So it started on September 18th, 2019, which right now it's about October, end of October. So about a month and a half ago, I ended up putting up a lead out on Facebook in just some buy-sell groups. So you look at those garage sale groups, buy-sell Chandler, buy-sell Phoenix, buy-sell Houston, those kind of groups that are all public or closed within Facebook. They're free to post in, and typically people will post like general items like cars, clothing, kitchen items, anything you can think of, people put to sell there. But obviously I'm just trying to reach people that are potentially looking to sell. So I'll show you guys the ad that I put up right here. This is the ad that I had put up into the Facebook marketplace, and that's something I never really had seen before. I saw somebody talk about it, and I forgot where I learned about it, but some guy was doing, actually, a lot of people just go ahead and be like, I'm looking for an off-market property, which could work for you, and you might get an actual wholesale deal from it. But for me, I thought about how can I be a little bit different, and obviously we're in football season, so you guys can tell by the picture, I ended up putting up a ad that really kind of outlined, was giving away free Arizona Cardinals tickets. So I was going to give away 4 free tickets and a parking pass, which for people that are in the area, I put it up only for people within Phoenix and Tucson, because those would be the direct fans of the team, and those would be the most people that would be the most interested, rather than putting it in like other cities. And this can work in any city. Just kind of take my experience and do it for yourself, and if you want to repeat the process, it worked for me because I'm showing you about a $5,000 wholesale deal. And September 18th, I put up the ad, and the daughter of the actual seller ended up reaching out saying, hey, I actually have my mom is looking to get out of her home. This home was actually rehabbed in 2016. She just bought it. She had put money down, so there was enough equity for this to be a wholesale deal. And I ended up going to check out the home that day, and I locked it up right then. And I was obviously a motivated seller. The mom was moving back in with the daughter. She's getting a little bit older, and she just couldn't live in a home by herself. And there was people in the home that she was trying to help paying rent free. So when I was in the home signing the contract, there must have been 15, 20 people going in and out. And even the daughter didn't know who they were. But it was a nice home, updated. I mean, it had been used a little bit. That's about 3 years since they moved in, about maybe 3 to 2.5 years. So you can tell, I could tell right away that the home had been used decently, but I mean, inside paint was good, outside paint was redone. The only thing that ended up being kind of an issue, but not an issue, it's just something I had to take into account for my rehab costs, was the electrical box. It had rat feces in it, and I ended up getting that from the inspection. So how I got the contract signed using a general purchase and sale agreement. If you guys are wondering where I got it from Carlos and Sal at the All In team here in Phoenix. Totally free. Go to their Facebook group. I think they have it in there. Got it signed. I think I locked it up for $180,000. She was asking for $210,000. The home was worth $240,000. So those of you that are in the wholesale realm, you'll know, and it depends on your market a lot, but that's pretty high to pay for me to potentially get a wholesale deal when it's $240,000 with $180,000. But again, it was fully rehabbed, and it was right next to a college, so this is a perfect rental, and I knew a buy and hold investor would buy it. So in that case, I had to market to those type of investors, and those type of investors don't pay a fix and flip price. which would, if it was a decent average flip, I'd probably have to get it under contract for, I'd say, like 120 to 150 would have been the better range for a fix and flip opportunity. But again, I locked it up for 180, opened up title and ended up marketing it, and it took me about 2 days to actually find a buyer for this deal. Ended up going through a company called Kish. I don't know if a lot of you guys know who they are or what they do, but they're basically a disposition company. They have a huge buyers list ranging from hedge funds to buy and hold to fix and flip investors, hundreds and thousands of buyers that they work with and they have personal connections with that somebody like me might not be able to get in touch with. And so I probably could have dispositioned this by myself and got a lot more money, and I'll show you here in a second what I could have gotten. But for me, as a learning experience, I did want to kind of figure out that Kish thing, and it's a company I'll be using for a lot of deals in the future because of how easy they make dispositions. But they took a 50-50 cut from me, so they ended up bringing a buyer that was a buy and hold that's probably gonna rent it out as a student rental, and they ended up locking it up for 190, so you can tell that's $10,000 spread, but I ended up splitting at 50-50, which I do regret not going in it. I probably could have negotiated 70-30, but as somebody new, I didn't really know that until it was too late. So I thought they would only take 50-50, but I could probably, I mean, I could have negotiated, and it's profit for them either way. We're bringing them the deal, so I probably could have negotiated it 80-20, and I would have made a lot more money, but you learn, you live and you learn, and I still made money in the end of the day. So we split it down the middle, 5,000, 5,000, and this was a 30-day closing, which is pretty average for a wholesale transaction. The one I have, I'm actually potentially, I never say that I am closing because I don't want to jinx it, and a deal's never done until you get that check in your hand, right? But I have one closing that I'm making a ton of money on in my eyes on the 4th, and this was like a week and a half closing because the guy's going out of the country. So I'll talk about that if that does close. Even if it doesn't close, I'll probably talk about that in the next video. But going back to this one, it ended up closing. Everything was fine. We ended up walking a bunch of buyers through it, and they found a buyer. We had an inspection. I tried to get a price reduction where I'll go ahead and after the contract signed be like, hey, I need the repairs aren't really what I thought it was, and I'm gonna have to take down another 5,000-10,000, but she would not budge. I kept working it, and I'll get better over time. That's something that's more of an advanced closing technique, and I hope to get it again, that chance to be able to do it, and I know I will eventually, but she wanted to stay in the home if she wouldn't get that price. So I said, all right, that's fine. I probably went back with her 3 or 4 different times over the course of a weekend. And this was really tough because I could not get in contact with the mother. She's a little bit, I don't want to say loopy, but she's a little bit out of it. She's obviously an older lady, so I had to always go through the son or the daughter. And in fact, you guys, as you heard before, I got referred by the daughter for this home anyway. So I want to go a little bit over about struggles for about 30 seconds. So real quick, some of the struggles I had in this transaction was, again, trying to reach the mother. The lady at title, at title they have to deal with all that paperwork, and there wasn't a free and clear transaction, which means she still owed money on the home, or I guess a mortgage. So we had to get payoff paperwork and all that, and the mother would not send it, and so we had to go through the daughter and then the son and then back to the daughter, and it was overall just really confusing. But that's why I love title companies, because they took care of every single aspect of it. Eventually got the paperwork, and we were supposed to close 30 days from the 18th of September, but we had to push it a few days back simply because all the paperwork wasn't filed in time. It was obviously really annoying, but a day or two, it closed on the 21st and ended up picking my check up on the 22nd. So for any of you that are going through a transaction where the seller has a payoff, it just means they owe still some on the mortgage, it's not free and clear, just make sure you get really good contact info, whether that be 1, 2, 3, even 4 different numbers of people that live in the home or relatives or whatever you can come up with. Get different contact info from that seller to bring the title, because you're gonna make your title or I guess escrow officers super happy. You'll be on their good side, and that's just something I learned from doing a transaction myself. and seeing it where I didn't give good contact info and it was just super tough. So we did have to push back closing a few days, but still got my check. And this is the check I already showed you guys, but $5,100. That's and I'll talk about my total profit, which I was going to tell you guys about. I'm just remembering now. Remember I had said that I put out a Facebook ad saying there'll be 4 tickets and parking pass. So that overall is running me around $300 since the Cardinals aren't that good this year. So I can get pretty cheap tickets, just found them on OfferUp for that seller. So basically the league cost me around $200 to $300, and I got a response from this lady within, I'd say 15-20 minutes of putting up that ad, and it was pretty cool where I didn't have to reach out, they just came to me. So it was obviously an inbound lead. I think it's inbound lead, because I wasn't reaching out, so it wouldn't be outbound. But you guys see the gist of it. That's how I got this deal done. Again, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this channel. I know how I want to do it, but maybe for now, since I'm not doing anything exciting, I'm just gonna make a video every time I complete a deal, not when I get one signed, because that's probably gonna jinx it. That wouldn't do good things for me, but because I want to show you guys profit, right? I don't want to show you potential profit. So I appreciate you guys being here. It's a little bit of a long video. I ramble a lot, but I wanted to lay it out from A to Z as best as possible, where you guys could get all the info on how I did the deal. Maybe that gives you guys a little bit of motivation to go out there and start, or get on the phones today, or potentially close another deal if you've already been doing some. So overall, this is my 4th deal closed. My 5th one, hopefully, knock on wood, is closing on November 4th, and I'm not gonna reveal the profit, but it'll be my biggest deal yet, so I'm super excited about it. And that one came from Craigslist ad, so another inbound one. Super excited. I got lucky with it, but I'm not gonna complain. And appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Peace.